am Andrei, and I'm here at Radio Romania
like that's a big one,
Actualități.
yeah. Radio Romania Actualități.
Where am I? In Brazil? I am here with you. Okay.
So what's going to happen here?
We'll have some
An
talk.
interview. Okay. That's a nice mic.
Când ziceți putem începe. Eu nu vă văd că așa.
Should I
Okay.
have my headphone as well?
Okay.
Does it help?
We can put them.
Do you like Freddie Mercury?
Yes.
Freddie Mercury with us here.
I can say he liked me. Dragi ascultători, un eveniment absolut inedit, pentru că, iată, avem șansa să ne și vedem acum, dar o să ne auzim și în noaptea de vineri. I guess you have some problems. Oricum, fiind totul aproape live, dar și înregistrat, mergem pe varianta mixtă. Îl avem în studio pe unul dintre cei mai talentați chitariști ai momentului și ai lumii. Lui se spune și Pedro.
That's correct.
Yes. And Enrique. And Kiko.
Yeah.
And
Loureiro. Yes. Laurel.
That's
Laurel tree.
Yes.
Louros.
That means?
Yeah, that's the meaning. Yeah. Portuguese name.
E un nume frumos portughez, dar el vine de la Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
That's correct. That's the accent. Yes.
Yeah. Good enough.
Și e născut în 72, în 16 iunie, așa că o să pornim la drum cu câteva întrebări. Are you a football fan?
I used to be.
But no more.
Yeah, I don't have the time.
Being a Brazilian, you don't like football?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like football. I just,
You have some favorite player?
Yeah, I guess, Neymar, Neymar is our hero. But, I come from the time that, Ronaldo, in the 90s.
Yes.
And even before that, but then it's too old,
No, nobody's too old.
No, I mean, like in the 80s when I was young, I was really like a child and I was like super into it,
like usually the people when Brazil, that means football, samba, and sometimes guitar players.
Yeah, sometimes. Very,
Yes. But you should know that better than me.
Samba, Carnival.
You like it?
Pelé. And Neymar and Ronaldo, yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I like
all these
all
names
good.
are
all
okay.
good, yeah.
Being in Rio till when?
No. The Rio thing, I was born in Rio, but I went to São Paulo, which is a big city.
So you didn't grow up in
No, I
Rio.
grew up in São Paulo, yeah.
I will change the text.
No, but I was born in Rio, which is cool. People know, Rio is a famous city. So
and you got to school in São Paulo?
In São Paulo, yeah. But I have a good relation with Rio because my parents and all my family from Rio. So.
How you explain the fact that always the rock field is very strong in Brazil? Always when I'm looking about good DVDs.
The DVDs live in Brazil,
concert, It's always from Rio.
You have the Rock in Rio, have the DVD from Rush. It was really nice.
Yeah, but
really nice. Rush in Rio.
Why is that? Because
I think the fans are great. They're like, they sing the songs. They're like the energy, So when an artist comes from US or comes from Europe to Brazil, they're like, whoa, that's different. That's special. Let's film that. So that's what happens.
That's why it's so huge audience always.
Huge audience and very passionate about the music, So the energy, so the artists can feel the energy. So they decided always to record something.
Is it true that you started studying the guitar after your sister quit?
Yeah,
the lessons. Yeah. Is it true?
Yeah.
Why you did that? You were waiting for her to change?
No.
Mind?
What happened? No. I was 11. I was 11 years old, and my sister was 12 years old. And then there was a acoustic guitar teacher, teaching us the chords, first lessons. And my mother paid the teacher, and then my sister said, "I don't want any more."
And you said, "I'm here."
No. Then my mother said, "You, the younger brother, you're doing nothing. You'll come. I paid already, so you start having some lessons, please." And then I got the guitar. I'm left-handed. So I got the guitar like that, and the teacher said it's not possible because she wants to play as well. And then I started playing like right-handed.
And you changed the position?
Yeah.
And you're no more left-handed?
I mean, I write with my left hand, but I play like a right-handed. Yeah.
That's strange, because
Well, I don't know if it's strange.
you-
I hope I'm not a strange guy.
no, you're
yeah.
not a strange guy, but a strange action.
Yeah, yeah, but
You know
what-
someone who's a left-handed guitar player, no?
Well, Jimi Hendrix, of
Yes.
course, but like Steve Morse and I know Steve Morse, Matthias Jaklung is like left-handed. There's like many guitar players. If you think, only the rock guys are the lazy ones they want to change. You see, like the drummers, like Ian Pace, or like
So not
Hendrix.
just the guitar players.
But the classical world, you don't see like a violin player playing like this. You don't have like a piano player for like left hand. You don't have like other instruments or like a flute player playing like this. So you don't have it, right? Because
true.
you can learn, you know.
You can learn.
Yeah, of course. So
That's a
from
good
the-
idea.
from the beginning,
he's a teacher. He's a
You
real
can learn.
teacher.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're gonna probably have like a different way of learning, but you know.
How you explain the fact that heavy metal or power metal, it's much more like that. Power metal is so strong in Brazil.
In Brazil, I don't know. People like it, you know. But Brazil has a lot of people, so it doesn't mean that's like all
course.
of them likes power metal. Actually, it's not that many. They prefer the carnival, you know, Brazilian music, domestic music, music in Portuguese that they can understand the lyrics. But there's a big scene of heavy metal and hard rock and in Brazil for sure. And then for some reason, the metal guys there, they like the power metal, the more European way of playing this heavy metal. Yeah, very influenced by the European bands. Yes.
Is it true that you became successful in Japan when you had only 20 years old?
Yeah, what happened was we recorded our first album. We had like a connection through a guy that we knew in Germany that had like, you know, a guy that knew another guy in Japan kind
It
of
was
thing.
with Angra.
Yeah, with Angra.
Angra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Angra.
That's the right
Angra.
spelling. Angra.
Oh, no, that's a French way of saying it.
If you want to.
Angra.
I can say
Angra.
it.
The Italians, how would be the Italian? Angra.
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 You see?
Angra.
We are the same.
Yeah. So what happened was we did a demo tape. But back then we'd have like cassette tape and sending by post, and then to this German
Everywhere.
guy, to the
someone.
German guy, specific guy that was like into this kind of music. He sent the cassette tape to the Japanese record company. They like it. They kind of financed the album, the recording. We recorded in Germany with a nice. We use all the money. We put our dreams in, you know, the first impression. Let's do the best we can. All the money, some extra money. Let's do it like in Germany, because in Brazil we are not. We didn't know if it would be a good place to record this kind of music, because Brazil was never like back then in 93, a good place to record this kind of music. Record the album, and then it was gold disc in Japan. Out of nothing. We didn't expect that, and it was a surprise for everybody.
Without a tour, without
a
promotion?
tour, no, just the album out, boom, gold disc. People like the melodies, the songs, the guitars, whatever. They love
It's a good
it.
chance for you.
And then we start doing interviews and taking pictures and being and then it took like 3 years to go to Japan. So we were very successful.
Without being there.
Just like doing interviews by on the phone, you know. And then we did another album, and then we went to Japan. Yeah.
And how did you like it?
That was great, because actually it was kind of a strategy then, because the management and even us, the album was so successful. It was a different time. There was no YouTube and nothing like that. So people were listening to the music and said like, this band is great, but we were not so professional on stage in the same level that was the album. So it's better not play on stage there.
There are no many people, they say that.
Well, but
You're a sincere guy.
yeah, we are not that good. You know, one thing is to record the album. You can play like 100 times the same parts until it's really good. You know, and then you have.
Of course.
Back then we were really playing. There was no Pro Tools, but it was like real playing. But you can repeat many times until it's the best. But then live, if you're like a gold disc band, it's just like you're selling as a big name.
So you were
You know,
a little bit
and-
afraid.
And then you don't have the same concert, the same show as a big name. You know,
Right.
with the whatever, good lights and good, crew and sounds and lights and the techs and stuff. So the manager said, let's not go now. We do another album. You guys have to play more. You guys are too young. And I was 21, 21, 22. Get more experience. And then in the second album, then we went there with a better, production and stuff.
And
Yeah.
it was great.
It was a smart strategy, because maybe if we would have done that right after the gold disc and play there with like a not so good show, maybe the band would go down.
That's correct. That's correct. In the 90s, the MTV decided that shredding and heavy metal bands are no longer cool. You remember?
I remember that. But I was.
Did it affect you?
It didn't really affect me, because the transition was when I was starting.
So
I think it really affected.
no sufferance.
It affected like the Megadeth guys affected, because they were like doing the MTV thing, and then 80s, and then suddenly Nirvana,
Cut down.
no solos, and everything was changed. I was just starting in the early 90s, so I was just starting when the trend of this guitar thing was
Down.
down. Yeah, and then
It's
that's
a
why
pity.
that's why the success was in Japan and not in US, because in US
That's
was
correct.
the Nirvana thing, and then in Japan it was still more 80s kind of vibe. The guitar, the musicianship kind of thing.
I want to tell to our friends who are looking at us, dacă cineva se uită la noi acum, să le spunem că datorită lui Corrado, he is the one who made possible this meeting.
Yeah, our friend here, Corrado.
Thank you, Corrado, because you are a teacher too, not just a guitar player.
I'm a teacher, yeah.
And how come that you are a teacher, and if you really like it, or you do it just by occasionally?
Now, when I was 16 years old, some friends, I was playing guitar, studying at home. Some friends came, so like, you play better than me. I give some money to teach me?
Really?
There was no, in Brazil, it was not easy to get books, or there was no YouTube. There was like the materials, like you really needed to have somebody to teach you. So I started because some people asked me. But then I started, I like it. I always like it. Teaching, it was always a way to keep, my stuff together. It was, have a good students. It's always good to, exchange some knowledge. And then I start teaching a lot. And it's the first thing. It's not the first thing, but it's an easy way to go when you start. If you're like a player that practice a lot, you can always teach people. It's a good way to earn money. If you want to have a band and try to play, that's gonna take more time, more effort, more money, more investment. So the teaching is always like one-on-one, and you can have some results right away. So then I like it. And then I start doing some guitar clinics with this more like kind of a showcase, like a presentation.
It's
meet
an
and greet.
interesting name, Guitar Clinics.
I don't know who
It
gave
sounds-
that name, but it's
No, it sounds.
It sounds important.
No, it sounds strange for me, because I worked in a clinic, but it was a psychiatric clinic. So
well, it's kind
you
of
are
like you have like
from
a lot of guys
you
there.
are from a guitar clinic, so we are the same.
You're partners in crime. Yeah.
Yes, but now you are here for a meeting with a Romanian guitar player.
Yes.
And for a clinic.
Yes.
And what it means concretely, what you do, you talk to them, you play to them, you play with them.
No, I don't play with them. I play some of my songs.
Yes.
And I talk to them, and I do some question and answers. And I try to show. It depends on. I have different ones. It depends on the audience,
the level of the
level and
audience,
stuff. It depends where you do. If you do like really for guitar students, you can go deep into the guitar techniques, or really into the music scales, whatever, and the experience as a musician, which I like to talk about the profession, how to be a musician. Because normally we talk to younger players, and I was a younger player, not knowing is this a real profession? Can I do that as a living?
But now you know it is a profession?
Yes, I'm sure about it.
Okay.
So then it's something that
it's good to know.
Yeah. And then some people are really afraid because it's kind of a difficult thing to decide to be an artist, because you have to have a little bit of being an entrepreneur kind of vibe. You have to take care of your own stuff, be creative, and then go there, invest your time.
For your living.
Invest your time, invest your effort, invest your money in something that you have to really believe that somebody's going to buy one day.
Yes.
And then you have to have this inside. If you don't have that, maybe it's better to go and get a job in something else. It was kind of because people get afraid of that, and then because they don't understand how it works, the music business somehow. So sometimes I like to talk about that as well.
That's great.
Okay, that's possible if you're really passionate about music. There's a way to live playing whatever instrument you play. Or if you want to teach, if you want to play, if you want to have a studio, if you want to be a composer, if you want to do jingles for radio, TV, many different ways, So it's good to talk about that, and then people say, well, yeah, why not?
They are asking questions.
Yeah, of course we can talk about that.
So it will be your first meeting with the Romanian students.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
Maybe Corrado will tell me how many people will be there. 100, of course.
About 200.
About 200. That's great.
I was expecting a little bit more.
Yeah, you see, you'll have 200 people
200
there.
Guitar players. That's amazing. You see,
I guess.
You see, it's not it's a difficult profession. You have already 200 people to compete.
Of
but
course.
we don't compete because music is not a competition. You co-compete.
Of course, you do it
you do together. Yeah, you build a movement. You build a movement. That's what Conrado does here, because he creates a movement and then becomes powerful, and then people really can believe in their dreams. If they want to become a professional guitar player, or if they want to do as a hobby, which is fine too, and it's great, and use music to have fun in life.
Just fun in life,
Yeah.
of course. You're a father.
I'm a father.
I saw some YouTube with a little lady.
Yeah. My daughter.
How old is she?
4.5.
And you stay with her in a studio, or not too much?
Not too much. Yeah. She was on tour with me a few days ago. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And she loves your music?
Well, she prefers Frozen, but but
that's good.
I can't tell her, let's play monster music. And then she likes the monster music.
She likes the
monster music, yeah.
Really?
And then she's okay. Yeah, well, let's play monster music. Then it's fine. But she prefers Frozen,
I can understand that.
Yeah, me too. I'm fine.
This kind of clinics all over the world, you were in different countries.
I've been everywhere. Yeah.
You're invited, or you propose yourself? How it works?
I'm invited, basically. Yeah, normally I'm invited. Or sometimes we do to promote the guitar brand. Sometimes it's like to promote equipment.
Which one?
The Ibanez.
Ibanez.
So, Ibanez, yeah.
Ibanez, it's correct.
Actually, the correct would be Ibanez, because the original name comes from Spain, so it would be
Ibanez.
Ibanez.
It's your favorite guitar.
That's my guitar, yeah.
Yes.
And then sometimes it's a clinic organized by the company to also to bring the knowledge to the kids, to the guitarists in general, and it kind of helps to promote the guitar, the brand. And sometimes it's like really for schools or universities to talk about music.
That's great. And you have another guitar too. It's not just Ibanez.
I have my Ibanez. What do you mean?
I saw somewhere some with Ta.
The Tajima. Yeah,
it's not good.
It's good too. Yeah, of course.
You use it?
I don't use it anymore. It was another brand I used to have. Yeah.
But you used it
in the
before.
Past. Yes.
And this Angra thing is working.
And the Tajima is a Japanese name from a Brazilian company, and Ibanez is a Spanish name from a Japanese company.
But
it's
how it works. It's globalization.
Exactly.
The Angra band, it's working even now when
it is. Yeah.
When you're touring by yourself, they are waiting for you. your friends?
No, actually, the clinics thing is kind of a side thing.
Yes,
It's not
I
the main
agree.
thing. So we do when tomorrow the Angra are not playing exactly now because I joined the Megadeth band, which is a bigger band, and I've been touring a lot. Last year I played in both bands,
In
Megadeth and
Angra.
Angra, and tried to be with my daughter in a family. It was
It's-
very
it's
hard.
It's
It
hard.
was very hard. So this year it's just impossible to keep that. So I have a friend in my place in Angra, so they're doing shows and stuff. They're coming to Europe in October actually, and I talk to them all the time, and I help the band somehow behind the backstage.
You're even a composer.
Composer is as well, and then now I'm here. I'm in Europe, and I'm saying general already for like 6 weeks for the summer festivals, and I'm on tour since April, end of April. I'm on tour.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a long time.
You will
So
forget. You will forget where you live. Where you live.
I don't know. I don't know. I have I think I have a house in LA.
You have one.
Yeah,
Are
but
you sure?
no, I'm not sure.
Yes.
But there's a place there,
Oh,
But I
it's
don't.
good.
I don't have this feeling that I have
You
my
have
own bed. I
You-
don't know.
You have a own bed. You have one,
To the
and you
hotel
have a
bed.
good neighbors.
I don't know my neighbors because I'm never there.
No,
Yeah.
I thought you would
I'm
say
a-
some big names.
Oh well, yeah, because yeah.
No,
No,
I didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
anything. It's just
Yeah,
guessing.
Yeah. No, of course I live in yeah. No, I have
Oh,
in general
I swear
because
I didn't know anything. I just guessing.
I mean when you live in LA you have neighbors, but
of course.
neighbors they have to drive half hour. But
So-
I mean like the neighbors like the house beside me that
There is nobody.
I know the people, but they're never there, so I don't have a relationship. But it's funny. I live really in LA there, and then there's like a very, it's cool to have like your idols
Yes.
living around you, kind of in
who
the
are
same
your
neighborhood.
Who?
I don't know, like a Ruth Sarso. He used to play a bass player from Whitesnake and
Yes.
Quiet Riot and Ozzy.
Ozzy is there,
Yeah, he lives,
Somewhere.
I mean, in the area, It's
but
not
you can
the-
hear him anytime.
No, because LA, you have to drive somewhere.
I saw.
I have to drive to get a coffee in LA. It's like,
It's so close.
But I have like Derek Sherinian is like lives really like few blocks.
Yes.
Then I can walk to his house. Yeah. So sometimes we meet for a coffee or something. And he comes skating and stuff. Yeah.
So you have neighbors anyway.
Yeah.
That's good to know. But you have you had or you have even now some guitar heroes that you loved when you were very young, and even now, the same guitar
course.
heroes.
All of them.
Who are they?
Are you sure?
Your
I'm gonna
favorites.
mention at least like 50 names here, but.
Just a few of them.
We're talking about Robin Ford was one of them.
Yes.
Robin Ford. But I like the Steves. Steves are great. Steve
Steves.
Vai, Steve
Any
Morse,
kind of Steve.
Steve Lukather. I like Steves. I like Joe's. Joe Satriani.
I like Steve's and Joe's.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, just kidding. But I was really into guitar, studying a lot. Very late 80s and beginning of the 90s. So I got all the California shredders. The Paul Gilbert, Mark Friedman,
But
Jason
you're a shredder
Becker.
yourself.
Because of them.
Because of them.
Yeah, because of them. Yeah. And Yngwie Malmsteen. And then I like the blues, like Robin Ford. Not much the old traditional blues. I always like a little bit of fusion, like Frank Gambale as well.
With
And
some funky blues.
yeah, then Robin Ford was a good name. And George Benson, the jazz guys too, I was listening to. Of course, Brazilian music was always very intense as well. For me, very important. And many guys. And then, of course, Led Zeppelin was one of the first bands that I got passionate about it. So Led Zeppelin, Jim Page was very important. Jeff Beck as well. Many names, Greg Howe.
They are important because, the young people who are listening or looking at us, they are interested of your background as a musician. And these names,
that's correct.
They are useful for them.
Yeah.
And how does it work with Dave Mustaine? How it's hard to work with him?
That's a very common question.
I
have to
know
say,
everybody.
because
Somebody put it here, but I wouldn't ask.
No, but it's a very good question because everybody. I think everybody. If it's a common question, it's because everybody wants to know.
That's
right?
why I'm asking.
Yeah. But for me, it's great. I have no problems, and we get along really well. And it's amazing because he's kind of a guitar legend as well. And I grew up. I remember like going to the shows,
Really?
Yeah. I remember.
You were a fan of Megadeth?
I remember going to '91. There was a festival in Brazil, Rock in Rio. I've been to like 3 or 4 times. But the first one was always like there in the heart to kind of remember really well. And it was a big one. It was Rock in Rio. And I was a big fan of Bart Friedman as a guitar player as well because I knew his work before, the guitar player of Megadeth. And then I remember when he joined Megadeth, and then I was listening to Megadeth as well. So it was a big thing, and it's fun to be there now on stage playing those songs.
It's a great feeling to be there
for sure.
Looked at them.
And then with Mustaine, it's cool because you learn from the source. He's kind of create the style. The style they call the thrash metal, the big four, Anthrax, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer.
Yes.
So this style. So he was like the technical player. He's kind of the more progressive guy that wanted to have more, more depth into the music. So it's cool to work with him. He's
and you worked
very
even
smart.
with their new album.
Yeah, I joined the band just before recording the album, so I was there in the studio. I recorded all the guitars and
it's a different album from the others.
Yeah,
the fans they say so. Even
the fans are really digging it. They like it. It's
Yes.
like it was a very good result in the charts and the sales and the tour. That's why I'm like being all over the place playing a lot because the album was very successful and. We were playing everywhere. So I think it's an album that has a lot of stuff that has to do with the legacy of the band.
of course.
And then when the people listen, it's like, oh, that's what I want to hear from Megadeth. But it also brings something fresh, something modern. So it's not like, okay, we're playing the old stuff, repeating the old stuff. Some legendary bands, sometimes they go back and kind of repeat themselves. So this is kind of a good way of keeping the legacy, keeping what people expect from the name for the when they see the logo, the cover, and then that's what they expect. The sound they hear when they see the imagery,
of course.
but then it sounds something up to date, and I think that was a good mix that made the
Old
album.
and new in the same time. But because you're a teacher too, you can explain us because always the kids they are asking for it. How it works being 2 or 3 lead guitarists in the same time on the stage, because I know our young listeners, even guitar players, they are asking always, how you do it.
3 guitar players, I don't know, but 2 works really well. I think.
But lead guitar players.
You have in case of I play with Angra's 2 guitar players as well, me and Raphael, and we've been playing more than 20 years together. With Mustaine too, we're just kind of starting this relationship. You have to practice. You have to play together and have to share and have to be very humble and have to be very sincere what you cannot play and exchange that, help each other.
And does it work?
It works, yeah.
Usually it works.
Yeah, it works. I think it's interesting that because Angra, with Megadeth, I have a short, I've been like a year and a half, kind of.
Your own project, it's
But
interesting.
Angra, which is like 20-something years, and I know Raphael, the other guitar player from Angra, even before Angra. So we were 17 when we met. And it's interesting because the lineup of the band changed, but my relationship with him is always great. Always great. Like a couple, ups and downs, but always great. Always very respectful. And that people would imagine, oh, you guys are going to compete because you both play the same instrument. But actually, playing the same instrument connects us better. And I think that's the same with Megadeth. is something that connects. We're like kind of partners because of the instrument, because the empathy of understanding the
other.
difficulties and the happiness of playing that instrument.
He's a great teacher. He will convince me for anything and for everything. With Starya.
Yeah, I've been here. I played here.
You played here.
Which was 2000. Oh, sorry, I had the microphone.
2009.
2009? 8. Wow.
So it's not your first trip
No,
to
that was
Romania.
2009. 2009.
So, but you didn't got out from the room, or because when I asked you if you know anything about Romania, you didn't say that you were here.
Yeah, I think it was like because sometimes the tours are like a day in the place.
So you
a day
come
and a half.
and go.
Maybe you come at night,
And you
and
don't.
you're tired, and then you sleep, and then you wake up, and then maybe you have a morning free. Maybe you go out to take a walk, maybe not.
So you
maybe,
forgot.
Yeah, I remember. What I really remember was the language, which for me was very interesting.
Because it sounds like
It sounded the Portuguese and stuff. It was like the first reaction of seeing the stuff in the street, trying to read the stuff, and seeing people talking. That was very interesting. That's what I remember, and some buildings. But I didn't have time to go sightseeing.
But how is it to work with a lady like that? It's hard
I
work.
mean, it's great. I think it's a bit different in a way, but I loved her. So she's great, And then the band was great, the whole band, great musicians, and
You got even in studio with her.
I recorded some acoustic guitars for her, but then I recorded and sent the files to her. So I was not in
Not
studio.
being there.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between because you had a chance now to compare Brazilian fans with everywhere in the world?
Yeah.
What there are big differences between European and Brazilian or
There are
Japanese
differences, but
people?
but the styles brings this. It's kind of the same. The way they wear the clothes, the shirts, and the way they act. There's something about something that I'm talking to the Megadeth guys recently. There's something about the age as well, because touring. I never really played a lot in U.S. I was always playing Asia, South America, Europe, and now I had a chance to play big venues in U.S., North America, Canada, and U.S. And I noticed like is a mix of young and older generation. I mean, older
Kids and their
like
daddies.
the kids and the parents.
Really? I know.
Very common to come in a meet and greet, VIP kind of thing. The parent with the kid, both with the Megadeth shirts and stuff. So the guy who was a teenager in the 80s, so the guy is like close to 50, and then the guy has a son of 20, So that's more common. And I was observing that, I was trying to think why. And in Europe too is a bit older, or mixed, or really older, in Germany someplace. And you go to South America, it's younger. And then you go to some other places, like we're just playing Turkey, or playing Israel, younger. Yeah.
And in Japan, you don't know the age.
In Japan, it's younger too. It's a mix a little bit, but it's mixed. But during the shows, younger, but there's older people too. The press and then the business behind, older.
Of course. Even if it's heavy metal or
the heavy metal, older. You talk because I think I don't know, the Japanese, they keep their places there. So the guy who's interviewing you in '92 is the same
It's
person
the same,
in the
yes.
same place. They don't change. They keep changing, or they sell the company to another company, or this kind of things. So it's the same company for 30 years and with the same guy there.
it's good or bad.
I think it's great because you can have this long friendship. I have friends in Japan that were there when I was 20, and they're same guys. The guys from the record company that signed the first contract when I was 21.
It's good to know.
Is the same
I will
guy.
tell the people here to do the same thing.
Is the same guy
to
that
keep
I'm talking
the good
about.
guys.
Yeah, it's the same guy I'm talking. They're very they respect time.
Of course.
The effort
And
you
the-
give to the company,
And
whatever
for
you.
the good guys, if they are good, you keep them.
Of course. And then, but that's interesting. So when you go to Brazil, some other place, and have younger people. And then you have to understand South America, 80s, you have like dictator, military dictator. So there was no bands going there. There's no very hard to get music.
Really?
In a way, not hard, but maybe the big bands. But it was not that easy to have a lot of stuff. Not easy to get albums. So it kind of closed a lot of domestic music. So that's what I'm kind of trying to understand. And I think Eastern Europe, it's maybe I'm saying something wrong, but that's my impression in general, because it kind of after '89, so it's more freedom,
Of course.
so more stuff coming from abroad, and then people get more bands coming in, more tours coming in, the music business get stronger, more stuff, and then the fans are like from the 90s on. So that's why you don't have like the 50
Different
years old
ages.
guys
Right.
on the audience. Like I grew up listening to that. You don't have that much in
No,
South
because
America.
we
you know what I
didn't
mean?
have
Maybe you
the
agree with me or
records.
not.
I grew up with all this music, so for me it's easier to say, but it was hard to buy.
To get. So it
and
would
to
be
get.
really the die-hard fan. The guy I really want the guy who's going to import, the guy who's going to pay more money, the guy who's going to stay in the store to get this one copy of the album, right?
Of course.
So
Sure.
South America is like that. But the generic people, to have a lot of people that would be, again, to the concert 30 years ago, you have to have a lot of people that 30 years ago, you have another 500 of these 50 years old guys. You know, you
Yes.
probably have to have like 5,000 there to have 30 years ago, another 500.
That's true.
So that's what I noticed playing differently, playing in different countries. Yeah.
How would you define the rock scene today? Because you had the chance to see the people, to see how they buy or don't buy records, because you know the internet is changing the show business, and
The internet changed it. It's not changing. Change it.
change it.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah.
So
he did it already.
so,
That's past already.
who,
Yeah.
who needs a record anyway?
Who needs? Yeah. Nobody.
No, nobody.
Yeah.
But the music, it's there,
The music, people need music.
of course. So the rock scene changed very much in the last 10 years, let's say.
Yeah, of course. Everything is upside down. Yeah. Many things changed in since the way the industry works, the way you record the albums, the way how the skill you need to be a musician to record a great album.
Yes.
It was different in the past. It's different now. The way you compose, the way you record, the way you sell music, the way you perform, the way you book the shows.
So everything is changed.
Everything is very, very different. And I lived. I started it in the mid '90s. I could say that was like the band was going on. They kind of had the feeling of the music business somehow. And then the problem that there was this period, like 2001 and 2008. There's kind of a lost generation that believe
true.
that music has to be for free. That's a gap, and we don't have that anymore. And that's the second big change. You have like the vinyl and CD, was kind of the same thing. The CD was like a boom that I think the record companies thought, well, that's gonna be our gold.
Yes.
But then it comes the Napsters, the MP3 thing. And then suddenly people say, I don't pay for music because music in the background, this should be for free. It's like air, it's like water, air, right? It's like water that you drink.
They don't think about you as an artist, the creator.
Well, but if you open the sink and have water, right?
Yes.
You don't think like how complicated it is to have that water, because if you think about the African countries, you got to see they don't have water. And you open your sink, you have water, and you can even drink this water. You don't think how much money somebody put to create that system, right?
That's true.
So it's for free. So I have like I take for granted, and then that's what the young generation, the 2000, and I was there because I was releasing albums there. Music's for free. I'm not gonna pay because I just press download and I have the whole
I hope you don't agree. I hope you don't agree with that.
15 years ago, I didn't agree. Now I agree. Okay, I changed because things change, and I change with
So you
time
adapt.
as well. Totally.
Totally.
But the
That's
thing is, then some guy that was not from the music industry, a guy called Steve Jobs, him or somebody
Yes.
there, had
I
a great
know.
idea. Coffee is very cheap as well.
Yes.
But maybe you go to Starbucks and pay $5 for a same cheap coffee, just because you want to feel good in that place. You want to feel good in that environment that, it feels warm and it feels cool and whatever. So then he created the iTunes. Then they're like, I buy here because I'm cool. And then I prefer to buy because it's safe. There's no virus. I'm cool. I'm Apple, whatever. So he created that. And then it's like I'm selling water in a bottle. It's not a free. It's the same thing,
It's the same
right?
thing.
The same feeling, but you're cool.
Yes.
You're cooler. So, but then you pay $5 for the Evian bottle or the Starbucks coffee. So the same concept. But now it's like, if you want to drink from this sink, which is great, you just pay $10 a month, and you can have whatever you want, right? It's a refill thing.
Yes.
Just
that's
pay me a rent, and then you can have every drink you
everything
want.
you want.
And then we plenty of stuff, and then we're gonna figure out how to pay to have this system, but. Yeah, and then there's a new society built on that, which is a society that I don't want to own anything, but I'm okay to pay to have access. Organized and clean, no virus, with information
Right.
anytime I want from any device. So it's cool. You pay $10 and you have it. Great. And then now this new generation accept to pay for music again.
So the generation is paying, but somebody is paying you.
But then is another problem, because maybe you did a contract 20 years ago that you said, I don't care about these new technologies because I don't know.
You see? No,
So
I want to know.
This is going to be, we are like in a transformation. That's what I believe. The new
hope so.
generation, the new young guy, the 15 years old, like in his room, like doing whatever,
Yes.
like Cubase and Pro Tools, he's going to upload to the Spotify, and he's gonna say, "I'm not gonna sign with the record company. I pay the fee for Spotify, but all the rest comes to me."
You see?
But the other guys, 20 years ago, he thought it was cool to have a record company. He was begging to have a record company. He wanted to have a
wanted
record
to
company
sign a contract.
because signing a contract was like getting the best job in the world. So he was signing a contract, and the contract was one line saying that any new technologies we're gonna pay the same as the vinyls,
You see?
and the vinyls we pay like nothing because we invest in your career to be a famous guy. You want to be a famous guy, you get 8%, we get the rest, and then right,
it's happening.
and then in any other technology that comes in the future, whatever in the universe, we're always gonna pay 8%. 20 years ago, and then in the contract you have 7 years contract with the option for the record company decides to keep you or not. So they say, I keep you. 20 years ago, after, they're gonna say, I keep you and I pay 8% to the new technology because you signed that to me. So the thing is, it's gonna be a big change.
It's not an easy job for you, for your art as an artist.
It's not easy. Yeah, you have to
At
understand
all.
how it goes. But it's like the taxi driver.
I don't
it's like
think so. It's harder.
Uber comes and it's like destroy all the taxi drivers, and any other technology can destroy it as a profession right there. You know,
but the music is a little bit more than
maybe can like an accountant maybe you can have an app they can do audio accountant. You just scan all the stuff and do it for free. All the accountants are gone. You know what I mean? So the music was affected. The photographers were affected because somebody took a picture and then a great photographer take a picture and then everybody shares, and then there's no copyright anymore. So
it's a pity.
Yeah, well, we have to be like clever to understand what's going on, because otherwise we're going to be using typewriters all the time.
Of course. I don't want to keep you anymore, even if all the stuff you say is very interesting. I would like to have some things more about your meeting with the Romanian people 2 times. Tomorrow for the first time as a teacher, and after tomorrow as a guitar hero. So
the guitar hero is fun. It's an interesting name, yeah. I'm not a hero.
You
Yeah.
are.
What is a hero?
For
Yeah.
the girls around, you are, you know.
Okay.
You have a self-conscious. You know
Yeah.
how it's going.
The thing is like it's like a king, you know. They put it like
course.
a higher chair,
Yes.
you know, then you look better
Yeah.
just because you're in a higher chair, you know. They put us in a higher, you know, stage and like lights, and then you put a lot of people like smashed. So
How
of
it
course we look nicer then, you know. But it is, you know, it's of course we rehearse a lot. We do like we
You work
compose.
for
We,
it.
we work to do like nice songs, to prepare the show, to talk to the light designer, to the sound guy, to the monitor. There's a lot of work to put something that looks great.
Great.
And then people say like, wow, that's cool. I don't know if he's a hero, but that's awesome. And I would love to be there, or I get, you know, connected, you know. And then basically our jobs is to share our intimacy. Because the songs that when you compose is going to be always in a lonely...
Some parts from you.
It's part from me, exactly. It's going to be like in a lonely hotel room. It's going to be in a lonely room in your house, in a lonely studio, or like in a partnership with somebody. There is an intimacy that one day is only belongs to you, and one day you're gonna
You share it with
share
everybody.
with everybody, and then you just put lights and sound and create some great experience out of that. But in the end, it's this connection, and then the fans they understand. The fans of a band understand that, they connect with that, and that's why they respect you a lot. It's not a hero, but it's like somebody that they respect
I will
a lot.
change this word.
No, but
I
it's
don't
cool.
use
you know.
it anymore.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. No problem.
As a teacher,
My Italian friends they call me
yeah.
the king, the Finocchio,
yes,
the King Finocchio.
that's they call you.
King Finocchio. Yeah, I'm
yes.
sorry about that. Yeah. But
And what you'll do as a teacher tomorrow, you'll speak about the show business, or you'll show them some tricks on your special guitars.
well, I'm prepared for both. You know, and
So you'll see.
I
when
like
you
to talk
see
about
them.
what we're talking about the industry in general. I like to talk about it because in the end, I see a lot of talented guys that got lost sometimes.
They don't know how.
How to
How to
how is
react.
this the profession? Because they understand pretty much the romantic side of music, but there's another side, as any profession. Like a doctor can be very romantic, but he has to understand the business to get a job or to have his own clinic or something. And then I like to talk both sides because then to be a prepared musician to be a professional musician.
That's great. Anyway, I thank you very much.
Thank
it was
you.
a great pleasure. If you come again, and I hope you'll do it,
I will.
We'll have
Yeah.
another chat. Thank you, Corrado, because it's because of you we had this chance, and have a good time with the kids and with the great audience you'll have.
Yeah. I'm looking
to-
forward for tomorrow in the
It's
show.
13. It's a special day. You believe that 13 it's good for you? No, it's
Yeah,
it's not a problem for you. No.
No, I don't.
Usually they say
What do you
the
think about the
30.
13? It's a special number. Some people think it's lucky, some people think it's not.
Yes, that's why I'm asking. But you
Yeah.
have no problem with the 13.
You know what? On tour, you just kind of get lost.
So
Usually ask me what day is today, you know.
you don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, someday
Yeah.
we will meet with with our people. Thank you again very much.
Thank you.